Hello and welcome to the next edition of the Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Voice of the Customer podcast series. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host and moderator for this ongoing discussion on digital transformation. Stay with us now to learn how agile businesses are fending off disruption in favor of innovation. Our next enterprise case study highlights how worldwide technology, known as WWT, in St. Louis found itself with a very serious yet somehow very common problem. Users simply couldn't find relevant company content. We'll explore how WWT reached deep into its applications, data, and content to rapidly and efficiently create a powerful Google-like pan-enterprise search capability. Not only does such search better empower users, it sets the stage for expanded capabilities using advanced analytics, from machine learning and augmented intelligence to a more predictive and proactive digital business culture. Here to describe how WWT took an enterprise Tower of Babel and delivered cross-applications intelligent search, we're joined by James Nippert, Enterprise Search Project Manager at Worldwide Technology. Welcome, James.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Good to have you with us. We're also here with Susan Crincoli, Manager of Enterprise Content at Worldwide Technology. Welcome, Susan.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Now, let's think about some of the trends. It seems pretty evident that the better search you have in an organization, the better able people are going to find what they need as they need it, when they want it. But are there some other trends afoot here? I'm thinking perhaps about behavior, expectations, heightened ability for enterprises, businesses to behave like what people are used to in their consumer sphere. Is that part of things, James?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of the understanding, because it's the way things have always been, that you have to kind of drill down from the top level. You have to go to your Exchange, your email, and start there. And did you save a file here? And then, no, I think I saved it on my SharePoint site, and try to find it there, or maybe it was in a file directory. And that's just the steps that people have been used to, because it's how they've been doing it their entire lives. And sort of the nature of the beast, as we bring in more and more enterprise applications into the fold. You have enterprises with 100 or 200 applications. Each of those have their own unique data silos, so users have to try to juggle all of these different content sources where stuff could be saved, and they're just used to having to dig through each one of those to try to find whatever they're looking for.
And we've all become accustomed to instantaneous gratification. When we want something, we want it right away. So if you have to go through leaps and bounds, or you have to tag something, or you have to, jump through some hoops, it doesn't seem to be part of what people want. Susan, are there any other behavioral parts of this that we missed?
No, I think that we, as consumers, we've gotten used to the Google-like searching, right? We want to go to one place and find the world, right? In the information age, we want to go to one place and be able to find whatever it is we're looking for. And I think that easily transfers into business problems, that as we store data in a myriad of different places, the business user also wants the same kind of an interface.
And I suppose certain tools that can only look at a certain format, or can only deal with certain tags or taxonomy, are strong, but we want to be comprehensive, right? We don't want to leave any crumbs out there that could be powerful, not brought to bear on a problem. So how do we, what's been sort of the challenge when it comes to getting at all the data, structured, unstructured, in various formats, James?
Sure. So traditional search tools are built off of document metadata. It's those tags that go along with records, whether it's the user who uploaded it, or the title of it, or the data was uploaded. And companies have tried to juggle for a long time getting users to tag with additional metadata that will make documents easier to search for. Maybe it's by department, so you can look for everything in the HR department. But at the same time, you have to deal with path of least resistance, where users don't want to spend a half hour tagging a document with everything. They just want to upload it and move on with their day. So then, you take pictures, for example. Most enterprises have hundreds of thousands of pictures that are stored, but they're all named whatever number the camera named it. They'll name it DC001. If you have 1,000 pictures named that, you can't have a successful search, because no search engine will be able to tell just by that title and nothing else to go off of what they want to find.
So we have a situation where the need is large, the paybacks could be large, but the task and the the challenge are daunting. Tell us about your journey, what you did in order to find a solution.
Sure. So we originally recognized it as a problem with our on-premises SharePoint environment. We were using an older version of SharePoint that was running mostly on metadata, and our users weren't uploading any metadata along with their intranet content. So we originally set out to solve that issue, but then as we began interviewing business users, we understood very quickly that this is an enterprise scale problem. And then scaling out even farther, we found out it's been reported that as much as 10% of staffing costs can be lost directly to employees not being able to find what they're looking for. And your average employee can spend over an entire work week per year searching for information or documentation that they need to get their job done. Mm-hmm. So it's a very real problem. Worldwide noticed it over the last couple of years, but I think as the velocity and volume of data increase, it's only going to become more apparent. So with that in mind, we set out to start an RFI process for all the enterprise search leaders. We went off of the Gartner Magic Quadrants and started talks with all of the Magic Quadrant leaders. And then through a down selection process, we eventually landed on HP, which was transferring to HPE at that time. We have a wonderful strategic partnership with them, and Susan can talk more about that. But it wound up being that we went with their HP Idle tool, which has been one of the leaders in enterprise search as well as big data analytics for well over a decade now, because it has a very extensible platform, something that you can really scale out and customize and build on top of. It doesn't just do one thing. And
it's one solution to let people find what they're looking for, but when you're comprehensive and you can get at all kinds of data in all sorts of app silos and nooks and crannies, you can start to deliver people results that they didn't know were there, that can be perhaps more powerful than they were originally expecting in terms of their results. Susan, any thoughts about a culture, a digital transformation perhaps benefit when you can provide that democratization of search capability, but maybe extend it into almost analytics or some larger big data type of benefit?
Yeah, I would say that for us, we're working across multiple departments, right? And we have a lot of different internal customers that we need to serve. We have a sales team. We have business development practices, professional services. We've got all these different departments that are searching for different things to help them satisfy our customers' need. And, with HP being a partner as well as we're their customer, they're our customer, we have this great relationship with them. It helps us to see the value across all the different things that we can bring to bear to get all this data. And then as we move forward, what we're looking forward to is helping to build more relevant results as we move forward, right? So if something is searched for one time versus 100 times, then that's going to bubble that up to the top. And then that means that we're getting the best information to the right people in the right amount of time. And then I'm looking forward to what we can extend this platform into, really looking at analytics and into other platforms.
So that's why they call it intelligent search. It learns in a sense as you go.
The concept behind intelligent search is really twofold. It first focuses on business empowerment, which is letting your users find whatever it is specifically that they're looking for. But then when you talk about business enablement along with that, it's also giving users the intelligent conceptual search experience to find information that they didn't even know they should be looking for. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a sales rep and I'm searching for company X, I need to find any of the Salesforce data on that, but maybe I also need to find the account manager. Maybe I need to find professional services engineers who have worked on that. Maybe I'm looking for documentation on a past project. The idea of an enterprise search, as Google, as Susan said, that Google-like experience is bringing that all under one roof for someone, so they don't have to go around to all these different places. It's all presented right to them.
Mm-hmm. Now, for the benefit of our listeners and readers, tell us about Worldwide Technology so we understand why having this capability is going to be beneficial to you. You're a large, complex organization.
Yeah, we are a $7 billion organization. We have a lot of strategic partnerships with Cisco, with HP, with EMC, NetApp. We have a lot of solutions that we bring to market. We're a solution integrator. We're also a reseller. And so when you're an account manager and you're looking across all of the various solutions that we can provide to solve a customer's problems, you need to be able to find all of the relevant information. Probably you need to find people as well, right? You need to find, not only do I need to find how we can solve this customer's problem, but who's helped us to solve this customer's problem before. And so let me find the right person, the right pre-sales engineer or the right post-sales engineer. Maybe there's somebody in professional services. Maybe I want the person who's implemented it the last time. There's all of these different people as well as solutions that we can bring in and help give that sales team the information they need right at their fingertips. And so it's very powerful for us to think about the struggles that a sales manager might have, because we have so many different ways that we can help our customers solve those problems. And so giving them that data at their fingertips, whether that's from a Salesforce, all the way through to SharePoint or something in an email that they can't find from last year. They know they've talked to somebody about this before, or who was the guy that helped me, and so pulling all of that information together is so powerful. We don't want them to waste their time when they're sitting in front of a customer trying to remember what it was that they wanted to talk about.
Sure, it really amounts to customer service benefits in a big way. But I'm also thinking that this is a great example of how when you architect and deploy and integrate properly on the core, on the back end, that you can get great benefits delivered to the edge. What is the interface that people tend to use? Is there anything we can discuss about ease of use in terms of that front-end query?
So as far as ease of use goes, it's simplicity at the end of the day. If you're a sales rep or an engineer out in the field, you need to be able to pull something up quickly. You don't want to have to go through layers and layers of filtering and drilling down to find what you're looking for. It needs to be intelligent enough that even if you can't remember the name of a document, right, the title of the document, you ought to be able to search for a string of text inside the document and it still come back at the top. And that's part of the intelligent search. That's one of the features of HPE Idle. But yeah, whenever you're talking about front end, it should be something light. It should be something fast. Again, it's synonymous with what users are used to on the consumer edge, which is Google. There's very few search platforms out there that can do it better. And you look at the Google homepage, it's a search bar and 2 buttons. That's all it is. And so when users are used to that at home and they come to work, they don't want a cluttered, clumsy, heavy interface. They just need to be able to find what they're looking for as quickly and as simply as possible.
All right. Well, it's great to discuss things. It's even better when you can show. Do we have any examples where you can qualify or quantify the benefit of this technology and this approach that will illustrate why it's important?
Sure. So we actually did a couple surveys pre and post implementation. As I mentioned earlier, it was very well known that our search demands weren't being met. The feedback that we heard over and over again was search sucks. People would say that all the time. And so we tried to get a little more quantification around that with some surveys. And after the implementation of Idle Search for the enterprise, we did get a couple of really great numbers out of it. We saw that people's satisfaction with search went up by about 30%. With overall satisfaction. So before it was right in the middle, half of them were happy, half of them weren't, and now we're well over 80% that have overall satisfaction with search. It's gotten better at finding everything from documents to records to web pages across the board. It's improving on all of those. And then as far as the specifics go, the thing we really cared about going into this were, can I find it on the first page, right? Because how often do you ever go to the second page of search results? And with our pre-surveys, we found that it was under 5% of people were finding it on the first page. They had to go to the second or third page, or 4 through 10. Most of the users just gave up if it wasn't on the first page. So now that's gone up over 50% to where users are able to find what they're looking for on the very first page. And if not, then definitely the second or third pages. So we've gone from a completely unsuccessful search experience to a valid, successful search experience that we can continue to enhance on.
Great. Susan, anything to offer on the proof of the pudding is in the eating?
I agree with James. I mean, I think that was one of the things when I came to the company, I felt that way too. The search sucks. I couldn't find what I was looking for. And I think what's really cool with what we've been able to do is also review what people are searching for, and then as we go back and look at those analytics, we can make those the best bets, right? So if we see hundreds of people are searching for the same thing or through different contexts, then we can make those the best bets there are at the top, and you can kind of separate those things out, like the handbook or PTO request forms, or those kinds of things that people are always searching for.
Now I'm going to just imagine that if I were in the healthcare, pharma, financial sectors, I'd want to give my employees this capability, but I'd also be concerned about proprietary information and protection of data assets. Maybe you're not doing this, but I'm wondering what you know about allowing for the best of search, but also with protection, warnings, and some sort of governance and oversight.
So there's a full governance suite built in, and it's through a couple different features. One of the main ones being induction, where as IDLE scans through every single line of a document or a PowerPoint slide or spreadsheet, whatever it is, it can recognize credit card numbers, social security numbers, anything that's PII, right, personal information, and either pull that out, delete it, send alerts, whatever it may be. But you have that full governance suite built into anything that you have indexed. It also has a mapped security engine built in called Omni Group, so it can map the security of any content source. For example, in SharePoint, if you have access to a file and I don't, if we each ran a search, you would see it come back in the results and I wouldn't. So it can honor any content's security.
Mm-hmm. Your policies and your rules are what's implemented, and that's how it goes.
Exactly. It is up to you as the search team or working with your compliance and governance teams to make sure that does happen, though.
Great. As we think about the future and the availability for other data sets to be perhaps brought in, that search is a great tool for access to more than just corporate data, enterprise data, and content, but maybe also the front end for some advanced querying, analytics, BI. Has there been any talk about how to take what you're doing in enterprise search and munge that, for lack of a better word, with analytics, BI, and some of the other big data capabilities? Absolutely.
So HPE has just recently released BIFI, I believe it's BI for Human Intelligence, which is their new front end for IDLE, and that has a ton of analytics capabilities built into it that we're really excited to start looking at. A lot of rich text, rich media analytics that can pull the words right off the transcript of an MP4, any raw video, and transcribe it at the same time. But more than that, it is going to be something that we can continue to build on top of as well and come up with our own unique analytics solutions.
So talk about empowering your employees. Everybody can become a data scientist eventually, right, Susan?
That's right. I mean, if you think about all of the various contexts, right now we started out with, with just a few sources, but we've also got some excitement because we build custom applications, both for our customers and for our internal work. And so taking that to the next level with building an API and pulling that data into the enterprise search, that just makes it even more extensible to our enterprise.
So I suppose the next step might be the natural language audio request, where you would talk to your PC or your handheld device and say, worldwide technology, feed me this, and it'd come back, right?
Absolutely. You wouldn't have to lift a finger anymore.
Yeah. It would be interesting to loop in what they're doing with Cortana at Microsoft and some of the machine learning and some of the different analytics that's behind Cortana. I would love to see how we could loop that together, But those are all really cool things that we'd love to explore.
But you can't get there until you solve the initial blocking and tackling around content and unstructured data synthesized into a usable format and capability.
Absolutely, and it's actually interesting. The flip side of controlling your data sources is what we're learning is there's a lot of important data sources out there that aren't good candidates for enterprise search whatsoever. When you look at a couple terabyte or petabyte MongoDB that's completely unstructured and it's just binaries, right? That's enterprise data, but it's not something that anyone had ever looking for. So even though our original knee jerk is to index everything, get everything to search, you want to be able to search across everything, you also have to take it with a grain of salt that every new content source is going to be hundreds of thousands of results that could potentially clutter the accuracy of results. So sometimes it's actually knowing when not to search something.
That would be the not too intelligent search, right?
Exactly.
Well, great. It sounds like this is an essential part of any organization to become a digital company, data-driven but intelligent and a fit-for-purpose approach to gathering that assets wherever they are. Well, I want to thank our guests. We've been joined we've been exploring with Worldwide Technology how a very serious and somehow a difficult problem of users simply finding relevant content can be solved. We've seen how WWT has reached deep into its applications, data, and content to rapidly and efficiently create a powerful Google-like pan-enterprise search capability. So please join me in thanking our guests. We've been here with James Nippert, the Enterprise Search Project Manager at Worldwide Technology. Thanks, James.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we've also been joined by Susan Crincoli. She's the Manager of Enterprise Content there at Worldwide Technology. Thank you, Susan.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
And a big thank you as well to our audience for joining us for this Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Voice of the Customer Digital Transformation discussion. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host for this ongoing series of HPE-sponsored interviews. Thanks again for listening, and please do come back next time.